got big dreams, I'ma do big things. Yeah, you see me on the big screen looking so clean. I don't move slow, I move fast right past.
Yo, what's going on, guys? SamuxPlays here, and today I wanted to go over something that's kind of been on my mind lately. Recently I'd kind of fallen off of TFD, and then just in the past, like, kind of, I guess, few days, I've really gotten back into it. I think I just need a little break, to be honest. I've been playing other games like PoE, but even the PoE 2 has been having a lot of issues lately with servers and stuff like that, so I hopped back on TFD, and I wanted to play around with Valby a little bit, just because she's like one of my favorite descendants, but she's been non-meta for a very long time now, and I kind of want to talk about why that is. Now, she did get buffed, and we'll go over that in a minute, as well as her Enlightened Mage set, which is the new external set, also just got buffed today, which is massive. Because the reason I wasn't really using that set was because the duration was only 5 seconds, and they have now tripled the duration, which is hilarious, because the other day when I was running Sigma Sector on her and I had the Enlightened Mage set on, I was like, bro, this set sucks. Like, you literally have to work to get it to 3 stacks, and you only have you get like 5 seconds of uptime. So I equipped Slayer, and I was like, the set's garbage. But now that, and then I thought to myself, like, man, they need to increase this to like 15 seconds, and then, you know, a couple days later they did. So I don't know if a lot of people were like complaining about that or felt the same way I did. But obviously, I don't know if the devs just figured it out or what. But this kind of is a game changer for Valby, but I still think the character has a really big issue, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So let me go ahead and switch over to in-game. Alright, so first off, let's talk about the Enlightened Mage set. So this is a new set that dropped not that long ago. It's one of the new ones. And basically, it gives you some skill power, so you're getting 6% skill power. Yes, that's really good. And then when using a non-attribute skill, grants 1 stacks of truth, up to 3 stacks, and it now has a 15% or 15 second, excuse me, duration instead of 5. At 3 stacks, non-attribute skill power plus 84%. So previously what happened when you put on this set is you would use your ability, whether you're using like the cooldown 1 ability, if you're like, you know, you went all cooldown, and you can just like every 1 second hit your 1 ability, and then you stack it up, and then you get 5 seconds of uptime on it. The problem though is the stacks fall off, and then you have to restack it to reapply that buff, right? Like, you cannot, it's not like Peacemaker where you can just get 5 stacks, or 3 in this case, and then right before it runs out you toss your ability again and you just perma keep it on like 100% uptime, right? It doesn't work that way. The buff has to fall off and you have to restack it. So it's kind of like one of the flaws with this set, but basically you can think of this as just Peacemaker's passive. That's literally what this is. Now, I've been playing around with Blue Beetle. As you guys know, I made a Valby updated build guide a while ago now, and I said that I preferred the Blue Beetle over Peacemaker, which a lot of people disagreed with me about. However, I still think it's a really good option. I do think that Peacemaker is really good. I know it's like specifically like designed for Valby, right? It is Valby's gun, but I think Blue Beetle is definitely really good, right? It gives you like, with a crit rate reactor like this one, it gives you like 97-98% skill critical hit rate when you have supply moisture and you're on top of water. So yeah, I mean, you know, Valby, with the build I'm running, you're getting like a 4x multiplier. So yeah, I'm not here to debate which one's better. I mean, that's not really the topic of the video, but I think both options are good, right? The main thing though with the Mage set and Peacemaker is that this game has diminishing returns, which means the more you stack something, the less it gives you, essentially. So this gives you a lot of non-attribute power, this gives you a lot of non-attribute power, and then we're also spec'd into non-attribute, right? So we're getting a lot of non-attribute skill power. So that's kind of like my mindset when I am using the Blue Beetle. I'm like, okay, well, we're getting like 200 to 250% non-attribute skill power. However, I am not like 100% positive, like which does more damage. I would assume Peacemaker does more damage if you have full stacks of Enlightened and full stacks of Peacemaker in like longer fights, whereas Blue Beetle would be better in like shorter fights. It's like mobs, like you're just like one-shotting everything anyway, right? So I don't know, but anyways, the one thing that bugs me about this character, and again, this is like one of my favorite characters of all time. I made a video, one of my first pop-off videos besides the Ultimate Bunny Guide was a Valby showcase where I fought all the bosses with like 2 mods on, right? That was like one of my biggest videos ever, and that literally Bunny and Valby were like my main 2. So, but the thing that is preventing this character from being like absolutely S tier, well, she might be S tier, but when it comes to like farming, I feel like she's just lacking. And there's one main reason for that, and that is because cleanup. So basically, if you ever use your 3 ability, you're basically getting punished. Like, there is no reason to ever use this ability when you're farming because it caps you at 1,000 move speed. Like, I don't know why the devs like just don't want to like change this, but for me, this is just like so unfun for it to be capped. Like, no matter what I do with my character as far as putting speed cores on like my weapons, specking into speed in the arcade tree, none of that affects the 3, so it doesn't matter. So when you think about what makes a farming character S tier, what's the first thing you think of? You think of speed, right? How fast can I clear this? Now, obviously, you know, it's not a big deal if you're finishing a dungeon or whatever, like 30 seconds to a minute, like slower than other descendants like Inez, Bunny, whatever, but I just don't see a need where this has to be in the game. Like, why can my speed bonuses not apply to cleanup? Like, it just doesn't make sense. I am locked at 1,000 movement speed, so let me go ahead and show you guys like what I'm talking about. All right, so right now I have 1,085 sprint speed. As we said, cleanup affects your movement speed. So when I press my 3 ability, I am just at a static, like, that's it. It's 1,000 movement speed no matter what. And I am spec'd into movement speed in my arcade tree right here. I'm still working on this and testing things, but you know, this almost doesn't even seem worth it, like, to go all the way down here to get these nodes because it doesn't affect my 3. Now, one thing I've been doing to kind of like offset this is I've been doing like a 2 build. So basically when there's a lot of enemies in like Sigma sector or 400% dungeons, I just spam my 2 and then I sprint, right? So I'm getting the bonuses of the like speed buffs from my sprint speed cores, which, you know, these are not 20%, right? But the other option is also I can go Peacemaker, but I don't have the cores to make these all 20% yet. So if I did hit the high roll, get 20%, get 60% sprint speed, I could use Peacemaker and I'd be running really fast, right? But it's the fact that I have to do all of these things to try and make Valby like competitive with other descendants that is just kind of like off-putting, you know? So like, you know, now that we're in her 3, we can do cool stuff, right? She's received a lot of quality of life, so we can flip, we can jump. And also they fixed it now to where, because this was a big issue as well with Valby, when you used to be in your 3 after the rework and you jumped, your water would not fall below you. So it's basically like you could never jump because like the water would just disappear, right? So that's something that they fixed, and when I saw that, I was like, holy shit, like Valby is playable, let's go dude, queue up, right? Like I was super excited because like she's one of my favorite descendants, and I was like, okay, well, but the thing that I don't understand is what is the point of having like a sprint speed core, movement speed and arcade tuning if I am just locked out of my 3 ability? Like there's literally no reason to ever use this. We got an entire rework to like flip and do this and all that, and I know like some people will probably be like, yo, it's not a big deal, like you're losing like 200 ms, but like I want to be able to like go fast on this character. Like I love speed builds, like the same way I found a speed build with like Bunny, Viessa, you know, all these other descendants. I like making characters that are generally like slower than the other descendants. I like making it possible for them to reach speed cap, and I just can't on this character. Like, you know, maybe if I get like 20% sprint speeds, but again, even if I do and I spec into the movement speed in the arcade tree, it doesn't matter because I can never use my 3, so I would have to build like just pure cooldown and go the like spam 1 build. Or personally, what I've been doing is just I hop around and spam my 2 ability. That's basically what I've been doing, right? So because it resets your cooldown if you hit multiple enemies on your 2. So let me go ahead and show you guys what that's gonna look like. So basically what it's gonna look like is, instead of like spamming your 3 to just like run around, you're just gonna spam your 2. Like you're not even gonna press like your 1 ability, at least not yet. The point is you're just gonna spread your water all over by just spamming your 2, and basically it's just gonna cover the map and you won't have to like press your 3 ability, right? This is kind of like my workaround that I've found. And you know, it's actually pretty fast. Like, you know, I see I just cleared that in like 4 or 5 like 2 abilities. It's really not like that long. And then with my sprint cores and my grappling hook, I can just like, you know, go fast, right? But I just would like the option of being able to like use my 3 and it not like be punished, like not be punished for using my ability. I would just prefer if they just remove the speed cap on it. I mean, is it really that big of a deal if Bunny, like, if Valby could go as fast as, like, Bunny or Viessa? Like, I don't think so, right? They're all farming characters, and all of them should be, like, maybe not as fast as Bunny, but even, like, 100 ms slower, you know what I mean? Or if you spec into it, you can reach the 1300 speed cap. I feel like that's the whole point of having like a Arcade tree and soul cores to increase your speed, is to get the descendants who can't reach that speed cap. That should be like the whole point, right? So I mean, and it's not like this is bad, right? Like I can just spam my 2 and clear everything, right? Everything's dead. Like it's not bad. It's just, I don't know, man. I want to be able to use my 3 and not be slowed down, because like flipping is cool. Like I like this. It ignores unit collision. Like, you know, it's a fun ability, which makes Valby, right? But if it's like slowing me down by like 200 ms like every time I use it, it just like doesn't seem worth it for me to like ever press it. So that's kind of like my issue with it, right? I still do think that the character is like really good. Like you know, obviously she could use some help in bossing, but they are buffing like the skill descendants, because right now it's just like a gun descendant meta with like, you know, Serena and stuff, like Serena and Glay. Obviously you cannot take Valby into like challenge mode and void purge and do well, at least not from what I've tested, but they are buffing them. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just would like to see, like, because they've done so much quality of life and like just added some cool stuff for her, I think that it wouldn't be unreasonable to ask that we're able to just like go a little bit faster, because it doesn't make sense to have these systems and then have an ability that just like locks you out. Haley as well, like when you're in her 3 ability and you're just perma slowed, like it just doesn't feel good, right? You're being punished for using the character's kits, and I don't think that that is like good for the game. I don't think it would make her like super OP. I think it would just like kind of put her on the level of Bunny and Viessa, and I don't think that's really a bad thing, because the only thing people really used Valby for was, in the early days, they used her for bossing with Enduring Legacy, and then they used her for Valby farming, which some people still do, like, but you know, it's not really needed anymore now that we're just getting gold and everything anyways. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on the character. Like, she's still fun to play, like I'm still gonna play her, but I'm just gonna be finishing like slower than like other characters. And you know, when you're trying to farm something like hundreds of times, speed is like super important. Obviously, if you are just like, you know, if you're having fun with the character, it's not like that big of a deal, right? Like, assuming I was on Bunny here, I could probably finish it in like 3 minutes or something, so it's like only an extra minute. But it's like, obviously, if I'm running it 100 times, that's an extra hour and a half of my time. You know what I mean? So anyways, it's not that big of a deal. It's just something that's been on my mind lately. When I hopped on her and I started like having fun with her again, I was just like, man, why is my 3 ability just slowing me down? There's ways around it. As I said, you could do the 1 ability spam cooldown, and you can also do the thing that I do, which is just spam your 2 and then just like run like this in between like waves. But it is what it is, right? It's just something I was thinking about and something that I think they should fix. Maybe I'll drop them a message in the Discord Q&A and just be like, hey, would you guys consider doing this just to make Valby a little bit more meta in terms of like farming, and see what they say. Anyways, that's it, guys. That's all I wanted to talk about today. I'm not saying she's bad at all. In fact, I've been playing her for a couple days now. I'm trying to finish maxing out my arcade tree, and I plan to keep playing her. After I run so many dungeons with like Bunny or Viessa, it's nice to just kind of switch it up. But as I said, this is just something that's kind of been on my mind, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Maybe you guys are just like, yo, I don't care if she finishes a minute slower or whatever. I know Bunny's whole identity is that she's supposed to be like the fastest, I get that. But, now that there's speed cores, half the roster can reach speed cap, right? So I feel like it's not unreasonable to ask that Valby be allowed to do the same thing, you know what I mean? I really like this character and I want to keep playing her. So hopefully maybe the devs will change it. Maybe they don't. As I said, it's not like that big of a deal. If they don't change it, then I'm still gonna like play her, but it would just be a nice quality of life, you know what I mean? Anyways, that's it, guys. I'm SamuxPlays. Let me know how you feel. Am I just being a whiny baby, or would this be a cool change for you guys? Let me know. Anyways, see y'all on Albion. Peace.